Definitely what we were also saying is there's a lot of, quote, controversial, like, people back in the
Yeah, I'm not
scenes.
quite sure if I want to support Rowling again because she's definitely homophobic.
And welcome back to another episode of the Convoluted podcast, your favorite late night dive into everything that makes the world feel like a fever dream with decent Wi-Fi. I'm Jesus, aka Tyrant Dominus.
And I'm Liz, pH balanced for chaos, emotionally filtered, and clinically unsafe for public consumption.
Tonight's theme, well, purity and poison can be the best way we can look at it. We're looking at things we drink, the media we absorb, and the products we lather ourselves in, and asking, is anything pure anymore?
Spoiler, it's all tainted. Beers are bubbling with forever chemicals. Harry Potter's back and somehow more cursed. Mr. Beast is dodging bullets for clout. A cop went from protect and serve to poach and swerve. Sydney Sweeney said bathwater, but it makes it branded.
We're sipping a PFAS and selling parasocial fantasies by the ounce. It's a late stage capitalism had a scent. It probably euphoria brim with notes of regret.
You got carcinogens in cans, wizard reboots for the morally conflicted, and the thirst traps turn into hygiene products. What a time to be alive, and mildly toxic.
If you're here for thoughtful chaos, welcome. If you're here because you misclicked while searching for a peer podcast, stay and you're gonna learn something unfortunate.
Housekeeping, Spotify listeners, hit that follow and just don't miss the next drop. So you don't miss the next drop. YouTube fam, like, subscribe, and comment below. What's the most cursed product launch you've seen in 2025, and would you use it in the shower?
And don't forget to tell a friend, tag a brewery, and if your soap glows in the dark, call us. We want your answers. But before all that, before we get started,
crack one open and hope it doesn't fight back.
exactly. But it's been a while, everyone. It's been a while. I believe it's been roughly 3 weeks since we last uploaded an episode. May, because this is coming out in June. May was chaotic, to say the least. Liz, how have you been these past couple weeks?
A little bit of everywhere. Chaos, turn the table, seeing you. I think I saw you, 3 weeks in a row, I feel like. We actually saw each other in person, people. Oh my God.
Yeah, it was busy. Even when we had a chance to breathe, we just couldn't breathe because there was always something happening. We celebrated movie releases. We celebrated family getting together. We celebrated a lot of things. Then we just overwhelmed both of us. Never a chance to properly sit down and record. We missed a lot of stories. We'll try to get to a couple. We'll dive into. Luckily, our assistant Dottie will be helping with that because there has been a lot of updates in stories like the Johnny Somali case down in South Korea. A lot of things have popped off in these past few weeks. The Diddy case is up and going right now. It's, I think at the time of this recording, it's either the end of 2 weeks or getting into the third week. So there's so much happening there. We've been wanting to talk about some of these things. We haven't had the chance to properly sit down and talk. Is there anything you want to talk specifically about these last couple of weeks, Liz, or anything, or do you want to just jump in?
Let's just jump right in. I mean, we're here for the chaos, right?
All right, let's start with something simple. Beer. It's everyone's drink. It pairs with football, barbecue, and existential dread. You name it.
And now apparently it also pairs with low dose toxic exposure. Cheers to that.
So, a new study just tested 23 beers across the US, and 22 of them contain detectable levels of PFAS, also known as forever chemicals. As in, they don't leave, they don't break down, they just vibe in your bloodstream.
They're like the MLM friend you uh blocked in 2018 who still emails you about gut detox tea.
These PFSA compounds are used in things like non-stick pans, waterproof fabrics, and firefighting foam. Basically, industrial grade conveniences. But the twist, once they're in your environment or your body, they're nearly impossible to get rid of.
Imagine that. But your seasonal craft IPA. The same beer where they're like, we only use hops and harvest by the moonlight, and forgot to mention the Teflon aftertaste.
The contamination likely comes from the municipal
Municipal.
municipal. Thank you.
Municipal.
A water source. Breweries, especially smaller ones, typically use local tap water to make their beers. And unless they're filtering with reverse osmosis or active carbon system, PFAS gets a free ride into your glass.
And we're not talking about the one about one batch either. This was across multiple regions. Some of them, the highest levels were in beers brewed near North Carolina's Cape Fear River Basin, already known for its industrial PFAS contamination, and in parts of St. Louis County.
Cape Fear, that place sounds haunted and chemically hostile. Like if a body of water could glare at you.
You know, somewhere out there is a hipster bartender describing a lager as a woodsy with several notes of cancer cluster.
And it's a $13 a pint when it comes to mason jars. So it's artisanal. The thing is, while the EPA recently issued tighter limits for PFSAs in drinking water, there's no specific regulations for food and beverages with that water.
And because who needs oversight when you got vibes? I mean, you can buy bottled water that's alkaline, electrolyte enhanced, and PFAs rich.
It it really highlights how weirdly fragile the beer supply chain is. Everyone focuses on hops or the yeast strain or how long something sat in a bourbon barrel. But what if the water's bad? The whole batch is basically a flavor experiment with environmental toxins.
Most people don't know because breweries don't list PFAs on labels. They legally don't have to. So you could be sipping on a slow burn liver damage and think it's just the bitterness of a West Coast pale ale.
This is a great example of systemic failure dressed in microbrewery aesthetics. They got the burlap font and a tiny tap room with Edison bulbs, and it's built on the foundation of unregulated, underfunded water infrastructure.
The wild part is, most of these breweries don't even know. They're not the villains. They're just grabbing tap water and assuming it's fine. Meanwhile, they're unknowingly brewing a crossover event between craft culture and environmental horror.
Which feels very 2025. Like everything is poison, and what a cute label and a pun in the name. So let's let it slide.
Welcome to our tap room. Today's flight includes a citrusy IPA, a multi red, and a crisp finish of an ecological collapse.
And can we talk about how beer has always been marketed as the relaxing communal thing? Crack a cold one with the boys. Cool. The boys now have hormonal disruption and a class action lawsuit.
This one's for you, Dad. Thanks, honey. Now I've got a thyroid irregularities and taste notes of PFOs.
Honestly, this might be the plot twist that brings people back to home brewing. Like, at least if you poison yourself in your garage, it's DIY.
Imagine making your own beer and realizing you bred a pitcher with higher filtration standards than the half the breweries in your state.
Look, we're not saying don't drink beer. We're just saying maybe drink aware. Ask your brewery about their filtration. Look up local water reports. What's in your glass beyond notes of candier and existential rot.
Or go full minimalist. Just drink tequila and call it a cleanse.
You'll still feel like a garbage the next day, but you won't be forever garbage. I don't know about that one.
Unless you're unless you're drinking margaritas and Cape Fear, then good luck, soldier.
Okay, so that is wild. That is wild. I wondered. So, for a little bit more context, do you know what exactly is forever chemicals or PFSAs? Your knowledge?
Kind of.
Can
Kind
you?
of.
I'll look it up while you try to explain.
Um it was on the actual other docket. They are I was gonna say I actually studied the word for a little bit because I remembered how to say it. So, hold on, let me get it. It is polyfluoroalkyl substances.
Oh,
So
you're going through the docket.
yeah, I saw the docket, and um, we were aware of this. We were told about it being in female hygiene products. We've been told it's been in other things that we eat, consume, whether that be our food. We kind of we've touched on this. We haven't exactly explored in depthly, but yes, it is very much a part of what we do every day. I mean, unfortunately, they've been talking about this for the last. I feel like it came up really to light in the last 5 years about how much of this product stuff is in our what do we what we use and stuff like that. I think it's scary. The products we use, the things we ingest, the
Yeah, because it sounds like baseline. It's just it's in the water basically, right? So anything that uses the water, and is not properly filtered, then you're just getting it mixed into whatever the main ingredients are, right? So like a lot of products have water in their thing. Like if you make bread, and you just mix that water into it and it's not filtered, you're just adding these quote forever chemicals. Or am I mistaking that? Or am I?
no, no. I just think it's water. It's also things like it's like those little microplastics, right? We're going right back to the microplastics. It's just in there, right? We have them everywhere, whether we know we're ingesting it or not. So, right?
So yeah.
And most of those plastics are got some PFAs in it.
So yeah, I would normally say luckily we don't drink beer anymore. We've been like cider gang and just hard liquor for a very long time. I think it's been a couple years now that you and me have strayed away from the beers. More so you.
Well, I still drink my favorite beer when I go down to my favorite brewery down near you, um, for my gluten free.
Yeah, but it's still
I
it's no
still
matter.
drink. I don't drink a lot of them. I drink maybe a couple, and then I don't have them for about a month, and then go back and do that again the next month later. So,
But that doesn't solve the problem because it's
no, it
the
doesn't solve the
water
problem.
because the water is the issue here. Like anything
Mm-hmm.
that's the main that is the main issue, the core thing. Like it's not really some of these other things. It's the base of the whole situation, which sucks. It sucks. Because yeah, I'm looking into a little bit. Um, it seems like it's a problem that's been with us for a very long time. It's gonna never be gone anymore. That's why I quote forever chemicals. And like the only thing we can do for the most part is just hope that companies, since whales, hope is the real question, that are uh that better regulations are gone into, or better like um what is it, labeling when things like this, because you would hope to know that some of these things you're drinking.
Well, the other thing is, why isn't FDA taking part to this? I mean, they're part of the Food and Drug, so it's food and drug. You know, we're supposed to be monitoring that kind of stuff, but again, we're not doing enough for our water services. I mean, just alone in here in Oregon, they just started saying, "Oh, we probably shouldn't have water above the surface. Maybe we should bring it down below." Like, we're just getting to that point. Like, we've been talking about it for how many years we've been doing with E. coli here in the state of Oregon alone. How many outbreaks we've had in it? People continuing to urinate in fecal department into those waters. Like, nobody gets it. Like, it's just there. So we need to do better about our water, and I think we need to think about this through. And hopefully, our breweries will start jumping on this bandwagon. Like, okay, maybe we need to do more filtration for our water alone.
Yeah, I think that's the best way to say it. But so everyone just kind of know, like we read in this article, we're not saying don't drink beer or drink any, or just ingest any food product that may, at this point, just be aware of what you're doing, what you're eating, where it's coming from. Dude, that's all we can really do, right? Like we can only be, unless you're making everything homemade and filtering your own water, that's the least we can do, but
It's
even
called a
then,
compound. We just live on a compound. We just make our own water there. We're good.
one day, once the economy fixes itself.
Right.
All right, let's get on to a more nostalgic story.
All right, grab your wands and lower your expectations. It's time for another round of Who Asked for This?
So, HBO has officially unveiled its new cast for the upcoming decade-long Harry Potter reboot. That's right. 10 years, 7 books, 3 unknown actors, and roughly 4 online meltdowns already in progress.
New Harry, new Ron, new Hermione, and somewhere in the same old discourse. I'm already tired, and they haven't even started filming.
So here's the setup. So HBO is turning each of the original books into its own full season. That's kind of cool. The 7-season minimum, possibly 10-year production, oof, assuming it doesn't get HBO Max halfway through.
And they're going deep. Peeves, spew, wizard labor unions, and also not the last one, but you get the idea.
More book accuracy, more screen time for fan favorite characters, and probably more CGI house elves with ethical dilemmas.
Great. I can't wait for the 14-minute monologue about the Threshold union fights.
So far, the reactions to the new cast have been mixed. The actors are all newcomers, which in theory should give the show a clean slate.
But this is a Harry Potter fandom. Clean slates like 30 seconds before someone starts a change.org petition.
And let's not ignore the elephant in the room. J.K. Rowling is back in the mix as the she's an executive producer. Interesting.
Yeah, she's just not lurking in the shadow. She's calling shots and tweeting through it. The sorting hat's about to start filtering people by pronoun usage.
She released a statement saying she couldn't be happier with the new cast.
Cool. I couldn't be more nervous.
This raises the big questions. Can you separate the art from the artist when the artist is still cashing checks and actively shaping the product?
Can you support a reboot when the author of the source material is still stirring up controversy like her Patronus?
And for some fans, that's a deal breaker. And for others, it's just another reason to tune in, ironically, not unironically, ironically.
And then there's a third group, people who are just here for the shirtless Draco fan edits and the Marauders, but with jawlines agenda.
This reboot isn't happening out of creative passion. It's a corporate IP grab. Warner Brothers Discovery is hemorrhaging streaming subs and milking nostalgia like it's only cow left on the franchise farm.
You mean to tell me they looked at Euphoria, The Last of Us, and said, yeah, but what if wizards again?
This is a reboot culture at its most predictable. Don't innovate, just repackage, recast, and pray for the minimal backlash.
Meanwhile, Gen Z is already editing TikToks of the new Harry looking like a boy finance intern.
And that's before the show has even been filmed. Imagine when the first trailer dropped.
Hot take, I could rather see a spinoff. Give me a dark comedy about Argus Filch trying to unionize the ghost.
Or
Prestige.
prestige miniseries of the Ministry. A prestige miniseries of the Ministry of Magic's Corruption, directed by Adam McKay.
Or just let the Marauders have their own tragic hot boy era and call it Sad Wizard Spring.
Instead, we're redoing the entire franchise again. Except now, every decision will be litigated in real time across TikTok, Threads, and Wizard Twitter.
Millennials, especially, this hits weird. The original films were formative, like awkward puberty framed by wand fights and British sarcasm.
And there's something sacred about seeing a series from child actors to adult finales. And now they're doing it again with new faces, new baggage, and no nostalgia filter.
It's like rebooting a childhood diary, but with corporate notes in the margins.
And for younger audience, this might become their Harry Potter, and if it doesn't implode halfway through budget cuts or dragon rights scandals.
So to recap, new cast, old debates, and 10 years of a commitment for a story we already know by heart, but now with more streaming platform anxiety.
It's ambitious, it's risky, it's nostalgic with high production budget and very low chill threshold.
Will it be good? Maybe. Will it be cursed? Definitely. And will we watch it?
Ooh, that's a question. That's a real question. So, I'll be honest, I have yet to finish watching the main movie. I've watched, how many movies are there? 7 or 8? 7.
There's actually 8. Yes, they had to break up the seventh finale, one into 2 parts.
I think I watched the 4th or 5th one up to there, and then I kind of dropped off. I have to look up the list, but yeah, I never officially finished. I think I've watched like the last 5 minutes of the last movie, and that was because it was on TV. You know, when you could watch movies on TV and you would have to watch them through commercials. Yes, people, that's how old we are. We had to watch TV movies with commercials, not on stream.
And it was still cuts and stuff too, just to make it work in their time frame.
Yeah. But yeah, I think I officially never watched the whole thing. I was never a book reader either back in the day. So what are your thoughts? Were you a big Harry Potter fan? Or
maybe.
You can.
So we started Harry Potter when I was in like middle school, so that's when I started rolling out. We had a teacher who was really really pushing for us to learn to read, and she actually, because we had some kids who had some dyslexia and some learning disabilities, actually read the story, and then she would give them the tapes, and then they would read along with the book, which is great. So that's how we kind of got into this, but we also started that. So I read all the books. I have seen all the movies, so I've been to Harry Potter Land once already so far. Or Hogwarts, as everybody knows it in Orlando. I actually do enjoy the books. Love the storylines. There were some things I missed from the book that would have been really great incorporated into the movie because we would have had this missing gap of information. But again, at the time, that was it.
True.
I
With
don't know if I'm ready
with
for another series of it though.
but now you're getting an extended version of the movie. Because now you're getting multiple episodes. You'll probably get like 8 episodes, hour long. So you're getting 8 hours roughly per season. Which what? How long were the movies? Like
They were
long?
about a couple hours long, about 2 to 3 hours, depending on the movie. As he actively looks it up. Yeah, they were about a couple hours long, each of them. So they were pretty in-depth movies because they were trying to cram a book into
Yeah.
like 3
And
hours,
even then, they
basically.
were even remember it's been a while, but even then, they were still pretty cohesive stories. Let's see here. The first. Oh, this also gives me the list, so I can kind of get. Okay. So I stopped watching. Yeah, I think number 5, Order of the Phoenix. I don't wait. No, I know I watched Goblet of Fire. The fourth one, Order of the Phoenix. I don't think I watched the one, so I think I stopped after the fourth movie. But they're looking
That
like
would
they're
make sense
about.
for you.
Yeah. So yeah, they're all roughly about 2.5 hours long. So you're getting roughly 5. If they're 8 out, 8 5. No, if they're 8 episodes long, you're getting an extra 5 hours of like movie or content. Is that not? Does that not seem a little bit more pleasing as far as content, or is it? Do you think like you're
Yeah,
fine
but again,
with?
we have to start with new characters. We have to learn these people. And honestly, what's gonna be weird is we already know that Ron and Hermione end up together in the end, but like, will that still be prevalent? Because we're starting for a new cast, and these casts are going to be what, in their teens when they start this, or
They're young. Have you
teens?
not? Have you seen? Have you not seen the photo?
Mm-mm.
Give me a second.
Yeah.
Talk a little bit more while I get you the photo.
So I am just worried about how that will all play out. If they're all not adults and they're all 11-year-olds again, because I believe that's when you would get your Hogwarts letter. You gotta, the age of 11. So do we start this whole thing again? I'm not quite sure if I'm in for it. I'll watch maybe an episode and see how I like it, and hopefully we'll see. I mean, I'll have to reread the books again probably just to remember some of the stuff that I remembered. So, because it's been 20 some years since the first book came out. So, I am I don't know. I don't know if I'm ready for this. I personally would like some of the books that I've been currently reading and bringing it to a more profound like understanding uh
There you go.
of the books itself in general. So
Thoughts?
where did it go? Where did it put it in general? No.
Topics.
They're cute.
Yeah, they're pretty young. So yeah, they're starting.
Yeah.
They're, so they're
It's gonna be interesting.
so what they like I said like we were discussing earlier. It looks like they're going to be going. They're going to be expanding these productions for the next couple of years, kind of how they did the Harry Potter movies. So you're going to see these actors and actresses grow up, as we did with
And then we'll have delays in productions because of, because of writer strikes.
never know. Yeah, within the next couple of years, like it's going to be a lot. There's a huge production. There's at least there. No matter what, we're going to get 7 seasons, right? 7 seasons, no matter what. Um, that's and if they do one every year, that's 7 years. That can be a lot. That's a lot of content. That's interesting to watch. Uh, but to say the thing I will say definitely is I'll give it a try because as long as it's good content, it's good to view, it's good to watch. It'll be interesting. But definitely, what we are also saying is there's a lot of quote controversial like people back in the
Yeah, I'm not
scenes.
quite sure if I want to support K. Rowling again because she's definitely homophobic and definitely supports that kind of stuff. Like, I don't know if I can dig into that. And she's been an
Well,
executive producer.
well, whether you like it or not, she'll always get a paycheck. Anything Harry Potter related to the day we die. So,
Mm-hmm.
like she'll always
Until
make
the
money.
day she dies. Excuse me. She's a lot older than us.
Right, correction. Till the day she dies, she'll keep getting a paycheck infinitely forever to the ends of time. Sounds like. Um, but yeah, and then the other thing that's worrisome, what I've been seeing a little bit online, is how these new actors, these children actors, are going to be affected because
Oh yeah.
as we've seen with some of the actors, um, oh, why can't I remember the name of the actors anymore? Oh my god, uh, why can't I
You're
remember?
talking about like Daniel Radcliffe and I forget oh crap, I almost had it. Daniel Radcliffe. I'm blanking out. Like I know it, but it's like not coming out. What's if Hermione was played by Belle too.
It's
Ah, I
blinking on me.
forget.
I don't know why. Give me a second. Give me a second, everyone. I don't know why we're blinking real hard.
It's hard. I can see it, but my brain's not my mouth and not communicating today.
Yeah, so we had Daniel Radcliffe, Emma Watson, and Rupert Grint. They're like the main actors. Um, like yeah,
There's some repercussions with that too. But I mean they turned out pretty fine, but still.
they suffered a lot. Like there's been like definitely um Daniel Radcliffe has mentioned his during his like final years in as playing his role as Harry Potter that he really dug into like alcoholism during his like that spent it really hit him. And definitely Emma Watson had a lot of she did not go good. Like there was like paparazzi the day she turned 18 trying to take panty shots. Like they they did not they did not fare well. And this was a time of early social media. Imagine the current social media. Look, even currently
You're
the
right.
like that we just talked about, there are some people already like posting TikToks of the new Harry Potter actor. Like how are they gonna handle that? You know, it's mostly with such a very nostalgic and divisive series, right? It's gonna be a wild ride. It's gonna be a wild ride. Well, we watch it. I don't know about you, but I'll watch it. I'll watch it and see how it goes. Maybe I'll watch this before I even finish watching the movie. What do you think?
Knowing you probably would.
But we'll see. There's already a lot because I remember what didn't they cast Professor Snipe as a black actor, if I'm remembering right. Did you not hear about
Oh,
that?
no. I knew
Oh,
that she
here.
was somewhat so racist, so the fact that she's adding color to her people, I mean, well, not really significantly, but like main characters. So I know I did not hear that, but I wonder how they would play it because I know they do backwards in time, like glances of who the people were before they became who they are right now, like past. That's why you should probably watch the fifth one, sixth one, the sixth one, because I have a little bit of a reboot of who these people are too. Like we learn more about Harry's parents a little bit.
Here's some of the other acts. So yeah. We'll see. Maybe we can watch it together and go from there.
Yeah, definitely. Maybe intrigued. I'm intrigued. Yeah, that would be fun to watch, I guess. Maybe we'll come back and give you guys a hot take of what we think of it.
Exactly. That's the most we can do. We could give you guys our our thoughts on it because it's definitely gonna be a very talked about show. And it's gonna be a while. It hasn't even started production yet, so we'll see. We'll see.
Got a cast. We'll see. Yep.
So let's continue with talking about social media.
That where we're at. So to recap, new cast, old debates, and 10 years of commitment for a story we already know. Okay, we already got that one. My bad. Sorry, guys. Okay, so imagine this. A dude walks into a gas station and shouts, "Last one to survive gets $10,000 and a Capri Sun." Is it a prank? Is it a threat? Is it Mr. Beast?
Plot twist: it's Hood, Mr. Breeze. The internet is eating it alive. Welcome to the latest TikTok trend that perfectly captures late stage meme evolution and our collective need for high stakes nonsense. So, here's the deal. The Hood Mr. Beast trend started with a creator parody of Mr. Beast's high energy giveaway videos. But instead of Teslas and private islands, they upped the absurdity and dropped the production value.
We're talking last one to blink during a shootout wins an Xbox. No lighting, no script, just chaotic edits and $8 worth of props.
It's equal parts satire, performance arts, and digital sketch comedy filmed in stairwells. And it was going viral fast without Mr. Beast's involvement.
But then he did the unthinkable. He made it his own version, shot in the same gritty, over the top TikTok style. He straight up parodied himself.
And the man said, "You want Hood Mr. Beast? I am a Hood Mr. End quote. His version instantly blew up and most liked TikTok he's ever posted.
It's rare to see someone own their own memification like that. Like, he didn't just co-sign it. He put on the hoodie and joined the trend like a sleeper cell of clout.
It worked because Mr. Beast's entire brand is already a bit surreal. But he's got the Willy Wonka complex with the algorithmic budget. So when the parody happened, he didn't feel like a reach. It felt inevitable.
This is the final form of meme influencer marketing. You don't resist the meme, you merge with it. You metabolize the chaos and turn it into content.
Yeah, and he understands something a lot of the public figures still don't. Authenticity isn't about being real, it's about knowing the joke and playing your part in it.
The comments under this video were unhinged in the best way. Quote, Mr. Beast is in the hood, like first to dodge eviction gets a PS5 and a Glock with a friendship mode, end quote. Another quote said, he's looking like a chat GPT rendered a youth pastor who found a camera crew in Walmart, end quote.
Well, one TikTok said this quote, "This feels like a satire inside an NFT inside a Jimmy Neutron brain blast," end quote.
That's awesome. Threads had a quote, Mr. Beast joined the hood meme genre like Bill Nye remix as a diss track and it slapped, end quote. Yeah, it's a pretty good quote.
Yeah. There is some pushback though. A few creators were like, "Hey, this version is too polished, too gentrified chaos."
Which is fair. There's always a risk when the big creators jump in. They dilute what they made the trend raw and funny in the first place.
But the guy didn't try to overdo it. No brand sponsors, no thanks for the laughs, energy. Just showed up, did the bit, and left.
It was a vibe check, and he passed.
This meme judo is at its finest. You take a joke made out at your expense, use the momentum, flip it on its brand loyalty, press release, no fake humility, just meme.
It speaks to this new tier of creator economy where their memeability is part of your market value.
And Mr. Beast isn't just selling chocolates and iPhones, he's selling the idea that he's in on it.
Half the CEOs in LinkedIn are just trying to understand what Riz means.
Okay, but what if other creators tried this?
Logan Paul, quote, first one to take a crypto and punch wins a seat on my podcast, end quote.
David Dobrik, quote, survive a forklift stunt and I'll give you a Tesla or possibly trauma, end quote.
Elon Musk, quote, whoever codes a Dogecoin rocket will why solving a CAPTCHA gets a Tesla with Grimes in the end quote.
This only works because Mr. Beast has always felt like a walking parody. He just gives the meme community permission to canonize it.
So what have we learned? It became a meme. Don't run. Don't explain. Don't cry.
Just grab the ring light, lean in, ride the chaos like a budget Mr. Beast in a parking lot giveaway.
Because if Mr. Beast can dodge jokes and bullets on TikTok and gain followers, the rest of us have no excuse.
The man just beats the internet at its own game again. So, yeah, it's just one of those things you just gotta play along. You just gotta play along with the joke, right? Because if you make
you can't play along, you can't join in the group, right?
Yeah. You know, because it started as a meme about Mr. Beast. Mr. Beast joined in. Have you seen it?
No, I have not.
I'll look for it while you. But
I said the title. I saw the article and I thought it was funny, so that's why I posted it to our group. But I really was like, you know, I think it's funny that he joined in, and I was like, oh, this is interesting, Mr. Hood, Mr. Beast. So I did not see the actual video or anything of that nature, but I thought it was funny nonetheless.
There's a lot of them on TikTok.
Oh, of course. It blew up.
Trying to find the original.
Gotta ride that 5-second fame.
That's how it is these days. Like not like the back in the day where you had 15 minutes.
It's not like you had 10 minutes of fame back then. Nope, this is 5 seconds.
I found it.
We won't even be talking about it next week. Want to bet?
And no, it's you have it, you're good, and then go to the next one. But this time with Kai, guys, I'm not doing it. Yep. And he's just doing it with Kai on top of that. So just showcasing just him being just being goofy.
It's pretty funny. Actually, it's cute. A short, like 5-second movie.
Yeah, you don't like they said, you don't need high production. It's just like quick shots, fun props, and you like we could do that if we really wanted to. It's just these are the things that get the likes, the hearts, the follows, the thing. It's just like this is what some people strive for, right? You have to kind of get on the trend that's happening because there's always a new trend that's happening. Like at the time of this, the hood Mr. Beast thing is the new trend. There's just gonna be a new trend probably a week or two from now. People are gonna be running that, and and at this point, Mr. Beast took advantage of it and he ran, and it worked. He got tons of likes. Mm-hmm. That's where it goes. That's how you run it. Like if we really wanted to, we would have done one, but we just May was too busy.
When did we have Jesus? Just talked about this at the beginning of the episode. When do we have time?
It would only take us 5 minutes to record, 5-10 minutes to record, and then the edits. That I think the edits will be the one there's some. Have you ever looked into how long like high end production TikTok videos take to edit? They take a while.
I'm assuming a good couple hours.
Couple hours to a few days. Sometimes there's a team. Like those elaborate like dance videos. They have like a full camera crew for these TikTok videos. Crazy. But good on Mr. Beast. A little bit of a positive publicity right there. All right, then let's jump into some more, a little bit on the wild side.
Okay, not every cop story has involved science, body cams, or someone shouting like, "You know why I pulled you over."
Sometimes it involves a pair of antlers, a suspicious rifle, a police captain challenging his inner Elmer Fudd with felonies.
Welcome to Oregon, where apparently even the cops are out here violating hunting laws.
So here's the rundown. A captain from is it
Marion,
thank you. Marion County Sheriff's Office has been placed on administrative leave, basically just on paid leave. Why? Because he's the subject of an illegal hunting investigation.
As in, this man might have been poaching wildlife, allegedly misusing hunting tags, possibly going after protected animals, and maybe, just maybe, thinking the badge also works on deer.
The case is being handled by the Oregon State Police with the help from Fish and Wildlife. So yeah, it's serious. Like investigated by the Fish Police, serious.
Here's a real kicker. This guy was known for advocating responsible gun use and ethical outdoor practices.
Imagine being the respect nature guy at the department and then turning around and allegedly treating hunting it's a Call of Duty side mission.
You need a permit to be here, sir. You are the permit. That's the problem.
This taps into a bigger theme. Law enforcement officers breaking the laws that they're supposed to be upheld, whether it's speeding off duty, abusing resources, or apparently becoming an off-brand poacher in the Oregon backwoods.
It's given thin camo line energy. Like, what are you enforcing if you're out here doing wildlife drive-bys?
There's a special level of irony in someone enforcing gun laws Monday through Friday and then going Duck Dynasty GTA edition on weekends.
Local Facebook moms are already in comments like, he's a good man. Everyone makes mistakes. Who among us haven't illegally tagged an elk?
Meanwhile, on Reddit, this guy sped run corruption arcs like he's farming karma in r/public freakout.
Twitter had one banger. He said, "Back the buck and mean it literally."
Another said, "Plot twist: the deer was undercover. This was entrapment." End quote. So, the sheriff's office released the classic statement: "We're cooperating fully with investigators, and the captain is on leave." Classic.
Translation. I know, right? Translation. We're waiting to see how bad it gets before we decide we're still pretending to care.
They haven't released his name publicly yet, which is typical, but also sus. But if we were a random dude with a crossbow and on a TikTok, he'd already be in a mugshot montage.
And here's where it gets deeper. When people in power break the rules, especially the ones they enforce, it widens the public trust gap.
True. In smaller or rural communities, where hunting is cultural and conservation is a local law, this isn't just a scandal, it's a betrayal.
It's like Smokey the Bear got caught setting a campfire just to watch it burn.
We laugh, but it's exactly how communities stop trusting institutions. The rules apply until they don't.
Also, can we just pause and ask, how hard is it to hunt legally? Like, the rules are literally ask for permission and count stuff.
Unless you're trying to reenact Predator in the Oregon wilderness with the night vision goggles and Bluetooth speakers blasting Toby Keith.
And of course, it's always the guy with the Punisher sticker on his truck getting caught poaching deer and using sovereign citizens logic.
And those sovereign citizens. So, what do we have? A cop, a gun, a forest, and probably a deleted Facebook album titled Hunting Season 2K24 that aged like milk.
Will we get charged? Maybe. Will he be quietly retired before the case hits the headlines again? Also, maybe.
But in the meantime, somewhere in Oregon, a family of deer is plotting revenge. Only we wish them well.
The revolution will not be televised, but it will be interviewed.
This is a wild one. Hunting is like if people go hunting, that's fair. But I know there's certain seasons you can only go hunting for certain animals. But how hard is it just to do that? I don't know why he had to go overboard. It's ridiculous. It is ridiculous what this person had to do.
I know. I got a gun. I'll use it. I know how to do it. Oh, I supposed to have tags? How do you know that? No, you didn't, dude. You were talking about it the other day. I mean, there's a lot of people who use like hunting as a way to feed their families. I mean, I know people in Idaho do that too because that's how they feed their family for the year, you know. Go get that elk, go get that, deer so they have food for the time being. But it's just that he thinks he's above the law. And he doesn't preach exactly what he practices, What responsibility with that gun? He did not treat that gun with responsibility. He treated it like it was old, like, oh, I got a badge. That's fine. I can do whatever I want. I want to shoot that animal. I'm going to shoot that animal because I want that animal. Mounted on my beautiful wall. All the things I've killed.
All right. So just to clarify for everyone listening, so this is kind of the base allegation that the sheriff officers are investigating. One, they include poaching, so that means harvesting animals without proper tags or during restricted times. 2, tag misusage, using someone else's tag or misreporting harvest. 3, possibly hunting protected species or exceeding seasonal limits. And 4, unethical hunting practices that violate state wilderness. These are the things that they're kind of basically just improper hunting. Just improper hunting. So it's just he took an extra deer, and this is poaching with his possible tag fraud. It's like paperwork crime with a gun and a camo jacket. So yeah, it's just some stupidity. It's not hard to follow regulations, but like we said earlier, it's like when you break these regulations, they're there for a reason, and it's stupid. It's stupid. At least it wasn't super harming anyone, but it's
once it impacts our wildlife and the potential for other people to hunt too.
And once again, like we said earlier, it then adds distrust to the community. Like people already distrust law enforcement enough, and then when they're just doing this, like, oh yeah, they can get away with it because they are law enforcement. Like, yes, we'll take an extra deer or 3 just because we can. Like, it can be
the populace,
Exactly. But it is what it is. At least it wasn't so like some of our other cop stories. There are other cop stories happening, but this was the weirdest one we could find.
I thought it was funny when I saw the article, but I was out of Oregon too, so.
Exactly. And we need it sometimes. A local funny story. All right. We're going to be talking now, getting into our final topic of the things of our episode. And it's a long one. And it's a ridiculous one. Definitely a ridiculous one. So you're scrolling Instagram and it's 10 a.m. You're 3 coffees in, and suddenly, bam, there's Sydney Sweeney, wet, blowing in a clawfoot tub that looks like it's a ship from the Nancy Meyers movie.
And it's not a still, it's a full video. Soft, focused, dreamy lighting that morning after, but make it at a cottagecore vibe.
She's lathering up with this creamy bar of soap with all the intention of 90s herbal essence commercial. Except there's no logo, no voiceover, no product name, just her, naked, soapy, and staring directly into your soul.
No explanation, no hashtag, no context. Just Sydney Sweeney giving the internet a moist panic attack.
Which, to be fair, is kind of her whole brand.
So here's what it actually was a launch teaser for a skincare collab between Sydney and this Korean American beauty platform called, I'm gonna mutilate this, Beautiful?
Beautiful? Think beauty and bubble, maybe? Beautiful? Think beautiful.
Yeah, maybe.
We'll say beautiful.
Okay, beautiful. Okay.
Yeah. They've done influence products drop before, but this one hit different. It was less skincare routine and more sultry ASMR thirst trap meets early 2000 perfume ad.
And the product? A $22 milk bar, quote unquote, soap called Love Scrub, meant to cleanse, moisturize, and presumably ignite your browser history.
And to be absolutely clear, despite what the internet thought, it's not made from Sydney Sweeney bathwater.
But let's be honest, the campaign knew exactly what it was doing.
The authentic was
I thought the aesthetic.
The aesthetic, thank you. The aesthetic was borderline coded, bathtub, close up of suds, her licking the soap, and at least almost doing it. It screamed, you're not just buying soap, you're buying proximity to skin.
The internet did what it does best: panic, thirst, theorize, and overshare. Sydney Sweeney just created high-end Belle Delphine bathwater for people with credit scores. End quote. Another quote said, "It's giving soft core SpawnCon with exfoliating benefits." End quote.
One TikTok said, "This is not a product drop. This is a siren call." End quote.
And someone on Thread simply quote, "I just watched Sydney Sweeney take a bath, and now I have to explain that to God." End quote.
People were treating the soap like it's a holy relic. The launch sold out within hours. Resale listings started popping up on eBay. There were posts like, "Do not melt your Sweeney bar. It's an investment piece."
Investment piece, quote unquote. We reached the phase of capitalism where soap is now speculative fan merchandise.
On the mutable side or end, radio silence. They didn't even clarify the product until the next day.
That was on purpose. It let the buzz grow organically, well, mercifully, and it created this wave of parasocial confusion. Is this soap? Is this kink bait? Is this viral marketing disguised as moisturizer?
All of the above, probably. It blurred the line between product and persona. You're just buying a cleanser. You were buying curated access to Sweeney's most intimate routine.
And that hits differently when the person in the question is a bona fide sex symbol with the entire corner of Reddit dedicated to dissecting her skincare.
Let's be real. This isn't the first time Celebrity Face launched a product, but this might be the most parasocially weaponized soap rollout in history.
It's the collision of influencer culture, soft eroticism, and commodity fetishism. Like, forget clean girl aesthetic, end quote. This is, quote, clean girl dirty thoughts, end quote.
And it's completely overwhelmed any actual info about the product itself. Is it vegan? Does it lather well? What's the pH? Doesn't matter. All the people want to know whether it contains traces of.
And to be fair, that's also how Gwyneth built Goop. She just learned further in this crystal of the energy and let the soap licking to someone else.
So what we got is soap that is sold out instantly, a launch video that confused a nation, and a celebrity who basically turned her bath into a marketing strategy.
It's genius. It's unsettling. It's kind of gross. And also the perfect way to kick off a three-part dive into celebrity hygiene capitalism.
Coming up in this following part, we're gonna dive into kind of some of the marketing mechanics, the thirst trap versus the empowerment debate, and how much this launch sits at the exact intersections of euphoric core and Belle Delphine cosplay.
So towel out and get ready. We're only halfway through the soap opera. All right. Let's talk about what really made this launch hit like a culture thirst grenade. The marketing.
Because while the soap itself was pretty standard, moisturizing, milk base, $22 for a vibe, the way it was sold, that's the game changer.
This is not your average, quote, get ready with me, end quote, post. It was a strategic sensuality, carefully staged shots of Sydney Sweeney soaking, rubbing, lounging, shot in ultra soft, high def, quote, come hither but don't call me, end quote, kind of energy.
It walked the razor thin line between lifestyle branding and softcore fantasy. She wasn't selling soap, she was selling access, or the illusion of it.
And a split at the internet clean down the middle. On one side, the student's marketing, feminine, empowered, Sydney's taking control of her image.
On the other side, this was just a quote, the Belle Delphine was better lighting and higher production value.
This discourse got really philosophical. Quote, is this feminist? End quote. Quote, is this capitalist thirst bait? End quote. Quote, am I supposed to feel clean or seen? End quote.
Even TikTok was confused. You had people analyzing the hand placement, the way she leaned into frame, like it was a gender study class taught in the bathtub.
There was even a whole Twitter thread titled, quote, Sydney Sweeney and the Commodification of Intimacy, a soap opera, end quote.
No joke. It ended with a screenshot of her in the tub next to a quote from Bell Hooks.
What we're seeing here is parasocial marketing at its slickest. Sydney didn't just drop a soap, she made fans like they were inside her shower routine. It wasn't just skincare, it was seduction with SPF.
And it's subtle. There's no voiceover going, buy this because I'm hot. It's just vibes. The camera lingers, the bubble slide, and your brain fills in the blanks.
It's intimacy by design, not overt, not crude, just curated vulnerability.
And it's wildly effective. She didn't have to explain. The internet did it for her. People turned her into lore.
But what kind of soft focus control comes backlash? Some critics called it, quote, too calculated, and it felt more like a PR fantasy than a personal one.
There's this weird tension between look how efficiently hot I am, end quote, and quote, this it took a 12-person crew and filter stack and 37 takes, end quote.
It's like blank. It's like this quote. I woke up like this energy, except you know damn well there was lighting team in the hallway and a stylist holding a moisturizer off camera.
And the audience feels the tension. It creates an uncanny vibe. Like, I'm attracted to this, or am I emotionally harvested by it?
Exactly. It's like ASMR for a parasocial thirst. It gets in your brain, and you're not sure if you're supposed to feel clean or complicit.
And the gender element, absolutely wild. A guy sells soap shirtless, and it's rugged. A woman sells it in a bathtub and becomes a think piece.
And Sydney, being the high glamour, hyper feminine figure, gets caught in the vortex of quote is exploiting herself or the system, end quote.
Can she do both? Profit from the male gaze and poke fun of it? I think that's Sydney's. I think that's the Sydney special.
It's like a Trojan horse of sexuality wrapped in a clean girl aesthetic, and the soap is the horse. Moisturized, glowing, probably vanilla scented.
So to sum up what we've been talking about, Sydney dropped a campaign that blurred the line between desires and the dermatology. Yeah,
Dermatology.
dermatology. Yeah. The internet turned her soap launch into a parasocial thirst study, and even as critics tried to dissect the performance, the damn thing still sold out.
That's the real kicker. Whether people loved it, hated it, or wrote dissertations on it, everyone engaged, and this is branding sorcery.
All right, so we're gonna just do the final part of this topic. Some like kind of the backlash, the like modification of
Ratification,
modification of oh my god, femininity.
femininity,
Ugh. And the cultural aftershocks
femininity.
of turning femininity of the culture. It's early, everyone, and we've been talking for a bit. And the aftershocks of turning your bathwater into beauty launch pad.
We cleaned the surface, now it's time to go deeper. Lotion up, folks, we're not done yet. So, the soap sold out. The campaign got millions of views, but as the settled, the backlash rolled in.
Because for every fan praising it as a modern Maryland, oh my Maryland
Marilyn.
moment. Oh, interesting. There was just many calling it manipulative, cringy, or even worse, desperate.
There were tweets like, quote, Sydney Sweeney bathing to sell soap isn't empowering. It's just capitalism with a loofah, end quote.
Or this brutal one, quote, this isn't feminism. This is horny MLM energy, end quote.
And suddenly the entire mood shifted, and from OMG late goals to are we okay with this, end quote?
And here's where it gets deep. This wasn't just a soap launch, it became a referendum on what happens when female sexuality is sold back to us in bite sized branded doses.
We entered this era of ultra marketable femininity. Every empowered quote, um, movement now comes with a product code. Every soft girl photo is prelude to a collab job.
And it's influencer culture meets body politics meets the Sephora aisle.
Sydney's campaign was just the shiniest, sudsiest version of that. A woman full in control of her image, but still relying on that image to push product.
So is it power or just a prettier version of the same system?
There's also this growing discomfort with just how intimate branding has gotten. Like, isn't it enough to sell a soap? We just have to make us feel like we're in the shower with you.
Uh, it's emotional product placement. You're not buying the thing, you're buying the fantasy, the intimacy, the skin contact, even if it's all digital.
But at some point, consumers hit a wall, and I think Sydney's campaign found that edge. The product felt so personal, people didn't know whether to buy it or write fanfic about it.
Which, real talk, both happened.
Look, we reached some peak brand saturation. People are tired, and this campaign hit them like, quote, okay, now even my soap has a fan base, end quote.
There's a vibe shift happening. It used to be, wow, she's got a beauty line. Now it's like, oh, great, another bottle with cursive font and emotional trauma in the marketing copy, end quote.
It's like skincare got shoved through a poetry filter. Quote, this face wash is inspired by my journey through heartbreak and seasonal depression, end quote. Girl, just give me if it stings. Just tell me if it stings.
Every celebrity launch now comes with a soft focused trauma arc. This serum, at quote, this serum is for everyone who's ever felt unloved by the moon, end quote. What are what are we even doing?
This is whole over intimate marketing trend where they're not just selling you a product, they're trying to sell you healing.
And it's always wrapped in the exact same beige packaging with the exact same elevated lowercase minimalist font. Like, everything was designed with rebranded Tumblr Watch.
Honestly, Sydney's soap drop is just the apex of the spiral. It's soap, but the vibes were so cinematic. People didn't know if they were supposed to lather up with it or write a Lana Del Rey's verse about it.
And part of the backlash isn't even about Sydney. It's about what she represents. She's the latest in the long line of actresses turned lifestyle oracles who whisper things like, you deserve this, which holding a $40 scrub in a white room.
It's like the entire skincare industry became a giant affirmation mirror, except instead of, quote, I am enough, end quote, it says, I am enough if I buy this artisanal pH balanced dream bar inspired by longing, end quote. That's a mouthful.
We've created a weird pipeline where real emotion becomes brand currency. Your glow up isn't complete until you monetize it in collaboration with a DTC startup.
And because this strategy works, we're watching the same playbook get run over and over. First it was Goop, then it was Haley Bieber's Road, then Euphoria Core Girlies building altars out of cleanser bottles.
We are the one moon cycle away from Zenzion launching spiritual floss. You heard it here first.
So when Sydney Sweeney slides in the tub and starts washing herself in 4K, not just sexy marketing, it's another reminder that everything is content, even our showers.
Especially our showers and your feelings about your skin and your mother's divorce if the moisturized copywriter doing their job.
Oh, people aren't mad because it's Sydney. They're mad because they've seen this movie before. Only now it's a bathwater scented IMAX.
We're being asked to connect emotional with something we just wanted to put on our body without a TED talk.
Exactly. I don't need my soap to be sexy, subversive, and tied to a slow motion drama arc. I just want to wash my armpits and go. All that said, the campaign worked. It sold out. It dominated headlines. People who didn't even like Sydney Sweeney now know her brand of body care.
And that's the trick. You don't have to win hearts. You just have to take space and make it impossible to ignore. Make it viral enough to create backlash and then surf that backlash into brand equity.
That's how we got from soap in bathtub to think pieces in Teen Vogue and meme accounts arguing about feminist intent.
We used to we used to joke about brands selling sex. Now they're selling vibes, skin routines, and simulated intimacy.
It's not even a hustle anymore. It's a lifestyle. And in Sydney's case, it got real got great lighting.
So, what have we learned as far as this topic? Soap is never just soap anymore. Intimacy is a product here. And if you're gonna sell the illusion of closeness, you better be ready for the public to try and touch it.
Sydney's campaign worked because it blurred lines between skincare and seduction, between empowerment and performance. And doing so, it held up a mirror to the culture that can't stop branding its own reflection.
The future of fame is soft lit, lathered up, and shipped in minimalist packages with a QR code.
Whether you felt clean, confused, or called out by the whole thing, congrats. You're living in the brand era.
Now rinse off the internet and get some air. We've all earned a detox. Before that, what do you think of this whole debacle?
Again, this whole idea of like selling sexuality. I'm glad I never saw that. I'm not gonna lie. I'm glad I never saw it because I don't. I guess I'm thankful I avoid the internet. I feel like.
You're on.
Yeah.
Well, you're on Instagram a lot. I'm surprised you
Yeah.
have. I'm trying to find that.
I didn't see it. Maybe I missed it, or maybe I just didn't care for it.
I'm trying
I
to
didn't know the
find
name.
it.
I don't even know Sydney Sweeney, so that's a funny part. Someone who I was like, Sydney Sweeney, I don't know who this person is, but I'll learn. Now,
Is that it? I think I found it.
I'm just saying, I don't know. It's just like, I don't know.
Oh,
It's
that
just like
brand.
it's like it's the
Okay.
next Kim Kardashian. It's like, any of the Kardashian selling brands or Kylie. You know what I mean? It's just like it's like
Is that really
that,
it?
It's association with the name of, what?
I'm trying to find it. There's only.
No. It's there. You just gotta find it.
It has to be. People.
I just never got myself associated with the idea of like lighting, and I get it. We all want to sell a product, but we cross lines all the time. And sometimes the puns are so high, you never realize what they're actually selling until they show the product. You're like, oh, I was thinking of something else.
Yeah, like I like at the end of the day, I have no issue with the main thing. Like people got it confused. True. Um. I really saw no. Like, there's nothing that like gave me any like at the end of the day, get a bag to the best of your ability, but I'm trying to find this thing. If that's really it, the video is that video I just sent you is the thing that's getting people riled up. Like, okay, like I'm trying to see if there's anything more because I think that's it. Like, that's it. That's all what people are getting riled up about. Have you seen it now? I can't hear you.
I have not seen that one. I saw it drops. It's not showing the actual her lathering up or anything.
I think I can't find anything else. That's the only one that comes up.
That's funny.
Like,
So
yeah.
they must have taken it off or something because it's sold.
That's all that goes into it. Like, that's all that's on because it said it was on their website, right? It was on their post, not hers.
Yeah, it was on Dr. Squatch or whoever it was. And it drops like $5.29.
Yeah, that's no, yeah. Like I see no problem with if that's really that's all they got because yeah, it sounded like there was more to the
This
post.
is like I see a hand. That's all I see is a hand. I don't see a body. I don't see anything else. So
I don't know, man. You can get a lot of because yeah, if we're going back and saying like, oh, the way the hand reaches and things like that, like yeah. But yeah, it's not as divisive. After watching the video, it's not as divisive as we I originally thought. I thought it was gonna be a little bit more risque, a little bit, how some old soap ads were. But yeah, people people let their imaginations run, and this is
Right? Everybody does.
and that's how this generation's or this era really is. People just be gooning. Be honest, people just be gooning, and mostly with such a prolific character as Sydney Sweeney. So you can't be go really can't doubt people for that, right? So that's why I can see why. But I've now that I know the brand, I've seen that brand around. I've never. Damn, that's way more expensive than I thought.
I've seen Dr. Squatch. Don't get me wrong. It's in the grocery stores.
No, I've seen it. I've never really looked into it. I just saw it like, oh, I thought it was just kind of one of those holiday brands that popped around. But might want to try one. But I don't know if I want to. Well, probably the collab is probably a limited thing. Oh, it's probably probably one bar costs what, $6 or something.
I thought it was more than that because I've seen the ones for 15. So.
Oh, never mind. I'm not worth it.
When they actually did the Marvel one, they did a Marvel one. I don't know the Marvel one. They did a Marvel. I've seen it on the discount rack. Halfway thought about picking it up just for shits and giggles, but it really didn't enthralled me.
But yeah, at the end of the day, soap is soap. Soap is soap, right? It's $7.
Yeah, exactly. Okay.
It's $7 for one. Yeah, it was close. $7.
How long it lasts, that's the thing. It's like how much you risk. I mean, you see soap, it always leaves that little grime left over and water and
yeah, I might pick up one just see how it is. See how it goes. But yeah, I won't be picking up the $22 one because apparently it's sold out. But yeah, it's
Are we gonna see a nice Instagram video of you lathering up?
No, you'll get the hand. You'll get the hand, and then the bubbles, the way it was. I'll be fun just to recreate that.
And then she's dishing up her own soap bathwater.
Which I get. You can kind of see why people kind of got the idea of like why it was gonna be her bathwater. But yeah, no, it's not like that. That happened a couple years ago with a different creator, where she was selling her bathwater and made millions, and I can see why it would be in the back of the heads of some people, but this ain't it. This ain't it. But it's just a collaboration, and how people debate it is up to them. But I've seen no real major harm. It just definitely they are playing the marketing game, kind of how we were just talking about earlier, how Mr. Beast is handling his TikTok, the whole social media thing. You just kind of have to get into it and roll with it, and you'll get the most out of it. Look, they sold out within a couple hours. Who won out?
Right, and
Dr.
they're
Squad.
reselling them.
Yeah.
They're already reselling it.
Actually, let me see. How much do you think they're reselling it for?
On eBay.
All right, how much do you think?
$35.
So originally it was 22, right? The lowest listing I can find is $200.
We did not catch that bandwagon, did we?
Nope, man. Scalpers be scalping. Scalpers be scalping. When there's a way to make money, there's a way to make money. Right. But all right. So that's gonna be it for this episode. We cracked open a couple PFSA lace beers, dodged magical rope reboots, got jumped by a TikTok parodies, stalked Oregon's most unethical hunter cop, and ended up soaked in Sydney Sweeney's parasocial lather.
From bathwater bar soap to ethically challenged deer tags, we officially hit every quadrant of the internet, and we did it all without getting banned, sued, or moisturized into submission.
Barely. Barely. And all these were alleged.
Shout out to everyone still trying to separate the art from the artist, the soap from the thirst trap, and the YouTube philanthropist with the chaos that follows him like a ring light.
If this episode taught us anything, is that we're all just characters in someone else's marketing funnel. Some of us are wizards, some of us are deer, and some of us are exfoliating in high definition for engagement metrics.
No notes, perfect system, would buy again. No, go rinse off your algorithm, rehydrate your sense of self, and remember, the most ethical hunting is done from memes only.
We'll catch you next time on the Convoluted podcast, where the stories are strange, the takes are tangled, and the bathwater is strictly metaphorical.
Probably.
So if you're watching on YouTube, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. It keeps us weird and helps us beat the algorithm overlords.
If you're listening on Spotify, Apple, or anywhere else, hit follow, leave a review, and do your part in our low effort cult by telling one friend about the show. Just one. It's like paying for it just for the vibes.
And hey, if you laughed, cringed, or learned way too much about deer law or shared this episode on your social, you know what to do.
We'll be back next week with more chaos. Until then, stay convoluted, stay moisturized, and don't trust cops with camo.
Bye.
Bye.
Anything on board after 93 can't cook. All they know is McDonald's charge their phony hot chip and lye.